now we lit in Miami. Talking heat, talking fins, whole city around me. Panthers on the ice, crowd roar like a hurricane. All gas, no brakes, we burning up the whole lane. 305 sport now, say the name, don't doubt. We'll put on with the takes, yeah, he break it all down. From the court to the field, every play, every sound. 305 sport now, yeah, we run this town. Miami nice, but we up in the day. Breaking news, big moves, every highlight play. Dolphins in the zone, end zone going wild. Heat flame high, every bucket, every smile. Panthers in a rush, blaze cut through the cold. Hurricane, wind spin, orange, green bolt. Will Padron got the stats, got the smoke. All gas, no brakes, every topic he spoke. 305 sport now, say the name, don't doubt. Will Padron with the takes, yeah, he break it all down. From the court to the field, every play, every sound. 305 sport now, yeah, we run this town.
Hello, Miami. Thank you so much for watching 305 Sports Now. I am your host, Will. And just to answer your question to Mr. Juan Manuel, yes, we are in Cuban time. I was having a very spirited conversation about the quarterback position before the show started with my good friend and the host of the IA Football Podcast. Q, what's up, brother? How's it going?
What's going on, bro? Hey, Juan Manuel, chill out, bro. Chill out. You're on 10 already, man. What are we doing? We just started. Man. Give us a chance to get lathered up, man. You're already on 10. Just chill, bro. Just chill. We're going to get there.
Yeah,
Relax,
man.
Bro. Relax.
Yeah.
We're going to get there.
Well, yeah, if you want me, my friend, later on, we'll go over the quarterback position a little bit more in the question and answer portion of the show, man. But today we're going over is the running back position because, if you guys have noticed, I've kind of gone through positions. Like I went through the wide receivers about a week ago. I already talked about quarterback position with Luke Nickel and so on, which has drawn some conversation recently, all right, as well. And today we're turning over to what I think is the best running back room in the country from top to bottom. And I'm going to prove it today with some nice graphics and statistics. All right, so Q, what do you think about our running back room? I think it's absolutely dynamic and sick.
Man, this is one of those topics, man, that is I don't even know how you begin to describe this room and not just gush, right? Not just look at it and just, you just absolutely got to give it up, man. The room is like, what do we always talk about, man? Talent, depth, experience, right? That's the way I look at every single position group. To me, that's the way I examine everyone. And when you look at this room, it's you have talent, you have depth, you have experience. The experience that these guys have now from this deep run in the playoff last year, like what better experience than that? Look at what Mark Fletcher did, right? All these guys, Marty Brown played a big part, so on and so forth. Like the room is layered the right way, right? You have your upperclassmen, right? You have your freshmen, right? Your sophomore. Everywhere you look, man, like you look at this room, man, you just can't help but be impressed, man. It's a deep room. It's a talented room. It's a room that was held together when personally, and I think just about everybody else thought that you lose one, maybe two people, right? I mean, Gerard Pringle hit the portal, right? Immediately came back. I think right the day after, 2 days after, something like that, right? I think a lot of people thought Jordan Lyle would be gone, right? And who would have blamed them, right? As a Miami fan, I'm glad he's still here, right? But if that guy would have left and taken, big money somewhere else, like who could have blamed him, right? You look at a guy like Gerard Pringle, nobody would have been able to blame him, right? He's super exciting. I can see, in the future, this dude is really going to be a big time contributor here, but nobody would have blamed him if he would have left, right? How is Chris Wheatley-Humphrey still here? Somebody explain that to me, right? Not because I don't want him here, right? But you look at what this room was built like, right? At the hands of Mike Merritt, right? Obviously, the recruiting Mario Cristobal and the whole deal, but the way Matt Merritt, built this room, right? Now he left. You bring in Fabian Upshaw, who's got big shoes to fill. You would imagine, right? And Matt Merritt was one of these guys, man, not a highly touted guy, right? When Mario brought him in, everybody was like, "What the hell, Matt Merritt? Like who? All these names being floated around, Jawan Sider, and all these dudes whose names were being floated around and everything like that. Tashard Choice and all these big names. And what happens? You bring this guy in. He helps build a great room, right? These guys produce. And, now he's off to the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals, right? So Fabian Upshaw comes in from the NFL, and obviously big shoes to fill, man. How are we going to divide up these carries, right? Because you're looking at this room And there's a lot of deserving backs there, man. Right? I mean, there's all these guys deserve a look, right? And so I'm just really curious to see. I know the room is going to be good, but I'm really curious to see how the carries, end up being kind of divvied up as the season goes along, right? Because I think when the season starts, I think we're going to see kind of an even split, three-ish ways, possibly maybe a fourth, right? Will be in kind of mop up duty. But I think you're going to see a really even split kind of as the season goes into week 7, week 8, and I think kind of as it starts to get deeper on in the crunch time, in the season, I think you'll start to kind of the carries will probably start coming back to maybe 2, maybe 3, right? But a lot to be excited about with the room, and I'm just really curious to see how Fabian Upshaw fits in with this room, with this culture that they've created, right? And the culture is evident because they kept everybody from either from entering the draft or from entering the portal, right? So again, a lot to be excited about. Excited to see how Fabian Upshaw does with this room. And again, man, I'm sure everybody feels like me. You can't help but just be just ecstatic about where we're at that position.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, we'll get into question and answers as the show goes on, but I'm doing well today. Thank you so much for asking, Juan. Q, you doing very well?
Brother, I'm doing absolutely outstanding, man. I was on the lake all day on the boat with my girl.
Awesome.
Chilling, drinking, hanging out. Can't complain, man. Can't complain. I hope you had a great day, Juan. Glad to see you on here, bro.
Well, Q, I'm about to make you really happy right now. Juan, I'm making you very happy as well. So going into rushing statistics, and I just want to give you guys this graphic right here. As a team total, right? As a team total, that also includes the quarterback running the football, Malachi Tony's carries as well, and of course, mop up duty like Quiz Ridley Humphrey. Miami amassed about 3,842 yards. That's throughout the whole entire season running the football. Rushing touchdowns 35, an average of 274 yards per game, and the average went up with 6.2 yards per carry. All right, this is an absolutely sick number to have as a football team. And Q, you just went through the top 3 from last season, right? I'm gonna show you even better graphic right here. Check this out, guys. Right, Mark Fletcher will end the finish of the season with almost 1,200 yards rushing on 216 carries, 12 touchdowns, 14 total touchdowns. Marty Brown, 474 yards rushing on 122 carries, 7 touchdowns, 20 catches on the season. And Gerard Pringle, who I believe was the energy infusion needed for this football team, right? We talked about that's also been mentioned in the comments as well. We'll get into that as the show progresses as well. Gerard Pringle had 62 carries, 375 yards on the ground with 4 touchdowns. So this football team was lights out. Okay, was lights out. Hold on, let me get back to my. There we go. Was lights out during the season as far as running the football goes. They took a slight dip during the regular season, but as the season progressed and ended, especially in the playoffs, the running game really surged, especially with the yards per carry, as we just saw within that graphic. Now, those are three guys that I just showed you that flat out ball this year. We've been hearing a lot of good conversation about Jordan Lyle, right? I know some of the fans are 50-50 on him. Some people think that, he's maybe a little overrated. Some of the fan base is like, hey, listen, the insiders that watch him in practice, think that he had a bad start of the season. He got hurt. In general, I'm more on the side of like the Dono and the D-Money guys. Keep this in mind. Jordan Lyle did start the Notre Dame game over Mark Fletcher. I think we should give the kid a shot. Q, what do you think?
There's some wild takes out there, bro. There really are some wild takes out there, man. There's a reason why, and for those who I don't know if may not remember, right? Not that long ago, Jordan Lyle per on 3 was the number 1 running back in the country coming out of high school, right? That doesn't happen by mistake, ladies and gentlemen. That's not just, you don't just, trip and fall and land on number 1 on the on 3 rankings, at your position group in the entire United States of America, right? This guy comes out of a powerhouse program, ready to go. There was big time expectations, and listen, man, things happen, right? Like things don't always go as planned, and how are we going to complain about last year and him, not becoming whatever people thought he may become? Look at what became of Mark Fletcher, right? And that's what depth affords you. Right? And this isn't just a Miami thing, right? You look around at the best teams in the country, right? And one of the components you need to win is depth, right? And they've got it, and they showed that last year, right? Mark Fletcher starts game 1. right? And we were like, man, well, what's going to happen? Now he's out for the season. Well, you know what? Mark Fletcher said, here, hold my beer, right?
Mhm.
Marty Brown comes in, does his thing. Look at Gerard Pringle, right? Like how many teams, how many programs in the country could Marty Brown start for? Like, I mean, and Pringle, right? I mean, at this point, we don't know what we have necessarily in Chris Wheatley Humphrey and Hellcat, but I can't imagine that he wouldn't be able to go to a good program, right, and start, right? And so again, man, when you're looking at this room where you just listen, whatever the guy hasn't done to this point, it hasn't cost this team anything because the depth that we have at this position group has afforded us to not really even stress about Jordan Lyle not having done anything yet, right? Look at what they did last year. I forgot with your graphic, but 3,800 yards.
Yeah.
3,800 yards. And Jordan Lyle didn't contribute. Jordan Lyle didn't contribute, and they ran for almost 4,000 yards and ran for 35 touchdowns. There it is. 3,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, basically 275 yards a game, and an average yards per carry 6.2. And Jordan Lyle didn't contribute. I mean, so there again, right? It's like, listen, we can't. I know, man, as a fan base, there's players that kind of every once in a while earn the ire of the fan base. Jordan Lyle shouldn't be one of those, man, right? Has he lived up necessarily to what the billing was? No. But I don't think it's something where, it's through any fault of his own, man. Unfortunately, injuries happen. And this old notion that injuries don't cost you your starting job, that's gone out the window, man. What do they say about what's players' best ability? Availability. And when you don't have it, right, you're not available, and somebody else is or other people are, this is what happens. And luckily, we had other people available. And this train continued right on down the tracks without skipping a damn beat. There was no issue with him not contributing. So we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he's ready to go mentally, physically, and we'll see what we get from him, man. But if he's healthy, just one more horse in that stable.
Yeah, I mean, the combination of that he possesses is interesting because he's got speed. We saw glimpses of that his freshman year, and he's got power as well. So we saw glimpses of that his freshman year. The notion was that he was trying to do too much to come back from injury last season. So like you said, wouldn't lose a spot or wouldn't lose carries, and he probably got way into his head a little too much. But from what I've heard, and the people that we were mentioning, people like Jim Leon, Alex Downo, and so on, D-Money guys that have access to practice and have seen him work out, think he looks pretty good, and I think that he's going to contribute this upcoming season, though, that we shouldn't sleep on him either. Even if that is the case, we do have a very strong running back room because we not only have Mark Fletcher, Marty Brown, but we also have Gerard Pringle, right, who's a favorite of Juan Manuel's and mine too. All right, Gerard Pringle, who was in the portal for like a cup of coffee, came back, right, as well, and Q as well, came back as well, is a multifaceted back. I remember seeing him in spring. Okay, in the spring game a couple of years ago, and I said this kid is it. Jordan Pringle brings something to the game, that the other two backs probably just don't have. Mark Fletcher is your power guy who can catch the football in the backfield and can block, but Gerard Pringle is a very good change of pace back. What kept Gerard Pringle, yeah, no, exactly, but what kept Pringle out of the playoffs, is his inability to pass block. That because I still remember poor guy in the A&M game, right? He got flat on his back, and a Mario Cristobal style of offense, okay? Cristobal style of offense, all right? If you can't pass protect, you will not see the field, okay? You will not see the field, especially the running back position, all right? One of the reasons why we had Bauman and Lofton blocking last season is because we lacked depth at tight end. All right, Luka Gilbert was still very green. All right, we had lost Riley Williams. Elijah Lofton it was supposed to be a pass catching tight end. All right, he should have been blocking in the first place. And Bauman was Bauman, okay, in general. But the bottom line is, though, we have a lot of depth at running back. If you can't block, if you can't pick up a blitz, you will not get on the field. All right, and that's the main reason why Pringle did not get enough reps in the playoff series versus somebody like Marty Brown and Mark Fletcher that can knock down a linebacker without a problem, to say the least. Okay, and yes, to answer your question, Juan Manuel, Lyle did start game one against Notre Dame. That is a true fact. All right, as well. And not only that, you talk about the Hellcat, who's put on some weight. That's another one that's had issues with pass protection, from what I've heard. All right, and Javion Mallory has been killing it in practice. So don't be surprised if he gets some run this year, as far as it goes, coming out of the backfield. Okay, as far as whether it's junk time or whatever the case may be, don't be surprised if you get Mallory. When I saw Mallory's huddle video, I was like, oh man, this dude is gonna be a baller. What do you think, Q?
No, yeah, the kid's a real deal, man. Kid's a real deal. He was the some of these camps he was going to, and I know the name escapes me now, man. The tailback that we ran for ended up at Texas.
Oh,
We
Cooper.
missed out. So Cooper.
Yeah.
So the camp, the same camp that they were at, Mallory was the MVP of the running backs at the same camp, that big time camp that they were at. I can't remember which one it was. But the guy runs hard. Apparently he's got soft hands. But he's nice out of the backfield if you throw him the ball. So listen, man, I can't imagine this guy doesn't carve out a little role for him on the team this year, right? You're looking around, in this era of NIL and transfer portal, man, where you can no longer just kind of keep these guys, on the sideline, right? There's the red shirt deal is out the window, right? You get 5 years to play 5 seasons. The transfer portal is always open, as we know, right? And so if these guys are sitting on the sideline not doing anything, right, they're forgotten about. Well, they're going to go somewhere where they're going to get playing time, right? So it's up to this staff, to look at matchups, look at down and distance, see what's best for the team, right? And insert these guys, every so often, right? A few carries here, a few carries there, and kind of build, to them getting more carries, right? It's part of what every staff now around the country has to do and has to take into consideration, right? You can't just, all right, you're going to sit on the sideline. Here's this clipboard. No, you have to get these guys. These guys have to be engaged. They have to feel like they have a chance to play, because if not, when the season ends, out they go. So
Yeah.
again, man, I have all the confidence in the world that this staff will do that again this year with that deep stable of running backs.
Yeah, and again, with that mammoth offensive line, I expect us to have a good year running the football. I do expect the offense to be a lot more spread oriented as well. So at least, listen, man, like I said, you got Mark Fletcher back. Marty Brown actually has 2 more years, all right, as well of eligibility. So he may not be done this year, all right, as well. You got Lyle, Pringle, Chris Willie Humphrey, and of course, Javion Mallett as well. So I think this is, as far as depth goes, all right, this is the best running back room in the country, better than Ohio State's, better than Notre Dame, especially better than Notre Dame's. Both of their guys went to the NFL, better than Notre Dame's, Indiana's, etc. Okay, so I'm really excited about this football team in a whole, all right, to say the least, all right, as well. So, okay, so going into the running game, right, going into the running game as well, I do want to get into your comments and questions, right, as well for myself and Q. So we're going to start all the way from the top. All right, so again, the first person to get on this broadcast before me and Q were able to come on was Juan. All right, so Juan Manuel, let's see what he says. Well, if it doesn't, don't know, with a game-breaking tackle like Pringle, talent like Pringle, he should look in the mirror and turn on his OC coaching credentials. Turn in his OC coaching credentials as well. Malachi was not the only explosive player on the roster. Yeah, man, we agree with you. All right, we agree with you. We agree with you on Pringle as well. All right, I think first of all, number one, they opened up the offense after SMU. That's the first thing they did. They opened up the offense. They had more fun, it looked like. And one of the keys that they did is they started running outside. And an outside run is a change of pace run that Pringle thrives in. So that really worked out for Pringle. So yeah, so what do you think about this comment, Q, from my boy Juan Manuel?
Yeah, man. I mean, Malachi, it's just, I know he's not the only explosive player on the roster, right? Far from it. But last year, they found, that when you put him in the game, great things happen, right? And you put him in there, because the attention, right, and the eyes that he draws as soon as he comes into the game. I don't think that'll be any different this year. Even though I think he's probably less catches given the receiving core, that they're going to feature this year. But again, man, you can't fault them, for that guy getting on the field, right? I mean, he's he can do it all. They trusted him on every level, right? He was the punt returner the whole year. The guy's a true freshman. He's a punt returner, right? He didn't muff anything that I can remember. The guy's just dependable. He makes plays. And listen, I know that he's not the only explosive player, but he's literally the best player on the team, right? So you can't argue with where it is, that how many times they rolled him out, and how many gadgets and stuff they ran with him. He was the best player on the team last year, man, bar none. All right, it doesn't matter who else you're talking about. He was the best player on the team last year. So, again, like, I get it. But listen, man, I have all the confidence in the world in the staff, Shannon Dawson. And the play calling and the whole deal, that, listen, and I think he's going to show out this year, bro. I'm telling you, he is going to absolutely show out this year with the weapons that he's got. So whether it's Malachi, whether it's Pringle, it does not matter who it is, man. If they're in the game, I trust that they're going to make a play. And like I said, I really don't care who it is, man. Just make big plays, score a lot of points, and win a lot of games.
Yeah. And get your backups in so I get some reps. That's pretty much what I'm thinking.
Yeah, too. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So Chris Gons, again, go Canes will. All right. Awesome. All right. Let's see. Juan Manuel. Bothers that Dawson's headroom was detriment to the offense while you could have used your backfield with 2 backs earlier in the year was working. Both Brown and Pringle can catch / deport. He has he really hates Alex Bound.
You're not the only one, my friend. You are not the only one.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, it's a funny part. He had 10 touchdowns at Tulane.
I still also think that Dylan George shouldn't have drifted out, that far. But
yeah, I know. Either way,
I'm just in the minority on that one. But
both were bad decisions.
I get it, man.
Both were very bad decisions. I get you, man. Actually, it's funny though. I was watching one of the playoff games, and Dylan George actually went forward on one of his punts, which is funny. He didn't even drift, which is kind of hilarious. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know why he just didn't go straight there. Either way, though, you don't blow a block like that. So that's all I'm saying. As well, keep this in mind. I know I'm gonna get heat for this as well, but I'm not sure with Shannon Dawson's coaching tree as far as where he learned, how to run an offense. I don't think I can recall many air raid coaches doing a 2-back set. Can you think of any Q?
It's to me, it's rare, man, and I'm not I'm not a X's and O's guru or anything like that, and but again, your traditional air raids usually just 1 back, man. You're usually wide receiver heavy. 1 back. If you do have a tight end in there, man, it's a playmaking tight end. But yeah, I mean, and listen, I think that was one of the things about hiring a Shannon Dawson that I remember starting to do homework on him, right? As soon as I heard the name, now I'm like, okay, now where is this guy coming from, right? And obviously he's a Dana Holgorsen disciple, right? He's a guy, that worked closely with him, and obviously Dana Holgorsen is an air raid guy. But I remember hearing when he got hired that he was, they wanted to implement. I remember what it is they called it, man, the power spread, or whatever it is. Like, so, again, that's one of the great things about Shannon Dawson is that the guy has been able to tailor his offense to the players, right? What do I have quarterback? What do I have outside, right? Listen, man, look at what he's done in with this offense in his time there, and again, not to be disrespectful or anything, man, but he hasn't had like high draft picks at receiver, right? He hasn't had superstars, out there, right? Look at what he did with X. Yes, I understand X was a good player, right? But let's not pretend that he didn't get to where he was based on the design of this offense. That's what really got him to take off, right? This guy was averaging like 15, 16 yards a catch, and he runs like a 5-flat 40, right? That's offensive design, right? But he was good with everybody he's had there, man. He's tailored his offense. They've been really, really good, no matter who he's had to, whether throwing the ball, catching the ball, running the ball, whatever it is, man. You have to give this guy credit, and you have to trust him that he is going to do what is right with what he's got on the roster.
Yeah, like listen, if you want to criticize him on field for the game in terms of his play calling every so often, that's fair. That's fair. If you want to criticize him, whatever the case would be, that we ran too much of the A gap last season, those are all fair comments. But the guy has a good scheme. The guy could coach, all right, and he's very well respected. Hal Mummy, who again is the creator of the air raid offense, thinks the world of the guy. And I should know he was on my show. If you want to go back and look at that interview, go check it out. All right, he thinks the world of Shannon Dawson. Dana Holgorsen thinks the world of Shannon Dawson. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. All right, thought the world of Shannon Dawson. My good friend Manny Matsakis, who coached under Mike Leach, thinks the world of Shannon Dawson. Geno Smith thinks the world of Shannon Dawson. So these are all guys. All right, these are all Tank Bell's another one too. They love Shannon. They love Coach Dawson. There's a reason why. Cam Ward is another one too. They all like Coach Dawson. There's no complaints about Coach Dawson coming from the players. The complaints actually coming from the fan base. All right, so if you want to say he calls the wrong play or whatever it is, whatever the case may be, fine. But at the end of the day, listen, his first year, he wasn't the problem. We all know the problem is. We've said that ad nauseum on the show.
Yeah, TVD was a problem there.
We had a pretty good offense.
From 20 to 20, they were outstanding. From 20 to 20, they were great. The moment he got near the 20, TVD started seeing ghosts, and I don't know what that guy was doing.
Brother, I'll give you
But that
just a
wasn't
basic
TVD.
zone defense. I'll give you a basic zone defense. The moment they dropped back in zone
Oh,
and they were covering and the was in front of him versus going man, he was a deer in the headlights.
bro,
Okay.
outlets,
Most
if
of
you
his
look at
picks,
the replays, if you look at the replays, the outlets were literally, there was one here and there was
Yeah.
one here.
yeah, all the time.
And he's looking that way.
Downfield, yeah.
And he literally he could throw it there, and he could throw it there.
Cute. Not
Just dump it
not
off.
only that,
Bro, oh my god, it was so
most of his
frustrating.
picks were in a clean pocket.
Yes, exactly.
Most of his
Exactly.
picks were the clean pocket. That's the thing with him too. Like it was horrendous. Cam Moore comes in, and I know I heard about one of my listeners was like, well, you know, he auto about 70% auto about 70% of the play calls. I'm like, even if he did that, he did it within Shannon Dawson's system. He needed a playbook. He needed a guide. All right, he went within the scheme. Even if he did audible 70% of the time, he still went within the scheme. That's still a scheme. He didn't just throw the football where he wanted.
Yeah,
Huh?
I didn't know he did. He said that, yeah, and no, he didn't.
Yeah.
Whoever says 70 to 80%, my friend, I'm sorry, respectfully, you're wrong. Like that, he didn't audible 70% of the plays. Like and like you said, that's being in sync with your quarterback as an OC.
Yeah.
That's being in sync with your quarterback, right? That's built into the offense. That's not just him going, I don't like your right, like a pitcher shaking off the catcher. No, that's not what's happening there. That's the design of the offense. That's the design of the offense. There is ability at quarterback, yes, but there is expertise at the offensive coordinator position.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. Let's not be disrespectful. Okay.
Yeah.
It hasn't only been Cam Ward. No, like that was the both of them in concert, in unison, doing that. It wasn't
Even
only Cam Ward. Come on.
Even if last year's offense was boring, Carson Beck was still a top 10 quarterback in college football.
Yeah.
And he was the third pick of the quarterback in the draft. The third pick. Personally speaking, and I get help from this from Josh Wingate from FTSN. I think you should have picked him over Ty Simpson. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna draft a project and stuff like that, that's just all I'm saying. So that being said.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, you know that's one of those. I like a lot of people was surprised at Ty Simpson going that going that high, but also, man, with a guy like like Sean McVay, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt, man. That guy rarely misses at the quarterback position, man.
I understand that, but I'd rather have a guy with a lot of starts, national championship experience, including in the game, versus a guy that played 8 games and his last game he got destroyed by Alabama. I'm sorry, destroyed by Indiana. So that's just my take.
No, trust me. Listen, Ty Simpson, there's a lot of boxes he doesn't check off, with a first round quarterback, right? Number of starts, height, so on and so forth. Like there's a lot of stuff he doesn't check off. So it's going to be interesting to me, man. When they took him, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. But listen, if you're him, you couldn't have gone to a better place, right?
Absolutely.
Stafford for at the very least a year, probably 2 years. Learn from McVay. Good for him, man. But yeah, no, trust me. I was very surprised. But like I said, that guy, there's a lot of boxes he doesn't check off as a first round quarterback. But good luck to him. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Juan Manuel's a fan of yours, Q. Says you give us.
Give it to straight. He never speaks on anything. My man. Salute, bro. Appreciate you.
All right. Juan Manuel with the jokes. Pringle came back and all was forgiven, Dawson. Oh, we were gonna get a real question.
I guess you can say that. Oh goodness.
All right, let's see. I'm wondering, blank get the most out of the running back room? Play 2 backs with a Pringle on a wheel route. Like I said, man, I understand what you're saying in general, but I don't think that's Dawson's style to do a 2-back set. And the lineage, the coaching tree that he comes from doesn't really do that. A lot also, like I also regarding a lot of the bubble screens and stuff like that. That's an air raid concept. How Mummy calls it an extension of the running game. All right. So if you see a lot of, I know you guys get tired of the bubble screens and the tunnel screens. That is a pure air raid concept. How Mummy said that's their version of extension of a running game. Just to give you guys an idea.
Howard Stern, right? If you go down a little bit, I kind of like his question because this was something that I heard on a couple pods here, leading up this week. I don't know if you can hit his comment. So there you go. Mario breaking streak this year. He's lost the last 8 years in a row, being a double-digit favorite. Listen, Howard Stern, bro. I am right there with you in really, really being tired of this particular stat right here. I'd love for it I'd love for this streak to come to an end. If I'm
Yeah.
being honest, um, this is and we got just to plug briefly. Will's coming on my show tomorrow, and the topic will be Mario Cristobal. And one of the things I know we're going to talk about tomorrow is kind of in his evolution. This is kind of the next step, right? This is what I want to see, aside from obviously winning a title. This is one of the things that I really, really want to see change, and really start to let's start beating the people that we're supposed to beat, and not beat. Listen, when you're a double digit favorite, you're supposed to beat somebody down. Let's call it what it is, right? When you're in sport, like in football, man, when you're favored by 10 points or more, you're supposed to beat up that other team. Call it what it is, right? And too often we are not doing that. Too often, this is happening right here, man. That's ridiculous at this point. So I would give anything for this streak to end this year. I believe it does. I think this again is the next step in the evolution. I think they go out this year and handle business every time they're supposed to, with a big spread. So
Yeah, I agree with you. And I've said in past shows, Howard, and I've even told you, Q, as well. I'm on record saying I never have a problem with Miami against big time opponents. It seems like Miami's always ready when they face a big time team. All right, even in Mario's early days, with the exception of that first year is a wash. But second year forward, when Miami's faced a major opponent, they've come, they've showed up in general. But yeah, they always lose to teams that they shouldn't lose to. Mario had the same problem at Oregon, okay, as well. I remember when even though that Utah team was pretty good, Mario lost twice to Utah when they were a favorite to win both those games, right, as well. And of course, even Stanford as well, when Oregon was favored to win those games, that game as well. This roster is set up to destroy teams. All right, I know it's an inexperienced offensive line, but the talent is there. All right, and you're starting off with teams that you should beat before you get into the bigger teams like Clemson and Notre Dame, etc. Miami should win all those games by double digits. And again, the goal this year should be destroy, win the ACC, get a bye, win an Natty. Okay, and one of the main reasons why you want to destroy is because you want to see what you have, with your freshmen, with your sophomores, and your juniors that they're sitting on the bench. Again, this is the year Luke Nickel needs a tryout. Okay, and I know, Howard, you've had this conversation. You think Luke will never start at Miami. You don't know that. Okay, but I do want to say this. Okay, This is the year that Luke Nickel should get a tryout. All right, as far as reps go. Let Miami see what they have. If they got to go with Darian Coleman next year or a portal quarterback, let them know during the season, because they destroy teams. Don't play with your food. All right. When they had Cam Ward and they beat teams down because the offense was scared to do that. Last season, they played with their food. They played with the food against Florida State in the fourth quarter. All right. They should have ran all over them. They played with the food against Notre Dame. All right. As well. All right. And they played with the food against, who am I missing with? I said Florida.
You said Florida State. You said Notre Dame.
Florida State, Notre Dame, and the Gators. They played with all those teams. They should have slaughtered all three.
Gators, the Gators. They should have never been that close. The Florida State game should have never been that close. The Notre Dame game, that one of the three should have been the closest, and it still shouldn't have been that close.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's one of the right up there with with losing as a double-digit favorite. And somebody on a pod the other day that I was listening to, man, said that like over the last it's been. I can't remember 6 times over the last however many years, that they've lost as double-digit favorites and everything. So again, man, that's unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable. This team, especially this year, again, man, is too good for that. And even just real quick, man, just to touch on the O-line, it's like you have this mix of experience and inexperience, right? Because if things play out the way people seem to project that they're going to play out, right? And if we're looking at it from left to right, you're looking at obviously left tackle being, having zero experience, right? And right guard having very little experience, right? But then, of course, with Max Buchanan, assuming he's going to be the starting right guard. But then, of course, you have Sampson, who's experienced. You have Ryan Rodriguez, who's super experienced. And then Matthew McCoy, who's got experience, right? So, again, we, and not to get too far off topic in terms of the O-line, but it's one of those deals, man, where are they proven as a unit? They're not, right? But again, when you talk about more than likely a generational left tackle, in Cantwell, a really really good, just a mauler, in Max Buchanan, and along with the other three guys that they're going to surround them with, and that scheme and the system and the coaching and everything like that. Listen, man, like I know that they haven't proven it as a unit, but I don't know, maybe that's just the homer in me. I'm just really not worried about that unit, man. And this isn't the first year again that they're going to do this. This isn't the first year they're going to do this, right? Break in a new starting five. Like, so again, this isn't uncharted territory. There is talent, right? There's experience, right? And I think by the time of 3, 4, 5 games into the season, I just think it's going to be just a non point. I just think it's just going to be business as usual. So
Yeah. All right. So Juan Manuel's points continue on. By the way, a good question, Howardson. Really appreciate it. I'm talking about Dylan Upshaw and Pringle could have changed the narrative. If not Miami explosive, Syracuse was a game that Miami looked explosive. Why? Well, I mean, that was before. Was that before or after SMU? No, that was after SMU, right? The game before SMU was Stanford, if I'm not mistaken. Am I correct?
Oof, I gotta go back and look at the schedule, Juan. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not 1,000%.
Yeah, the Syracuse game. That's a game that we saw the coming out party of Pringle, if I'm not mistaken. That was the game we saw the coming out party. Upshaw just got hurt. I mean, that's pretty much why he couldn't get on the field anymore. If you saw him on the sidelines, he had a walking boot. So that's something that did happen. Okay, all right, as well. All right, so let's see. Okay, so we got Juan Manuel, Horton, George, Arroyo. I could work with as well. Horton's second is like 10th team right now, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, Isaiah Horton.
No.
He's like on his 10th team right now.
Yeah,
okay, let's.
He's at Bama, right?
No, I think now he's at A&M or Tech, one of those two schools.
Dude,
he dipped Bama.
He transferred to A&M. He did, yeah.
Yes, how mummy's still alive, Juan. Nice guy too, by the way. Nice guy too. Go look at the interview, Juan. Still my archives. Let's see. TVD was an STD. Your football will never recover from.
Goodness, bro. Lord have mercy. No, we recover, man.
We're good, bro. We're good.
We've come a long way.
Yes, we have,
my friend. We've come a long way. He's running back. What bring to the room?
Okay, all right. I'll go first. Okay, I'll answer Juan's question. I'll go first. All right, Fletcher is durability, power. Now he has speed. Okay, he's trimmed down and he's showing off his speed, pass catching ability, and blocking ability. Maury Brown, power and some shiftiness, reliability. Pringle, change of pace, speed, ability to catch the football in the backfield, great hands as well. All right, Jordan Lau, unpredictable. I will say this now, but a good combination of speed and power as well, and a little bit of shiftiness. Chris Whitley-Humphrey, we've seen him fast and sneaky strong, right, as well. And Jamin Mallory, the future and a powerhouse. What you got, buddy?
Man, yeah, dude, you kind of hit all that stuff on the head, man. Fletcher, obviously, the obvious, is what we see, which is, a great combination of speed and power. A lot of people call him Baby Derrick Henry. I don't necessarily know that I would go that far. But again, man, the guy runs with power, runs with speed, and then also the leadership, right, from him is, he's one of those guys, man, everybody loves, just a great dude, man. So he brings it on the field, brings it off the field. Again, man, the guy's one of the captains, for a reason, right? He's one of the leaders on the team. And I would say he's probably the heart and soul of the team if we're going to pick anybody for that role. Jordan Lyle, man, yeah, just speed. He's fast, right? He's shifty. The guy's strong, right? He's not tall by any stretch, but the guy runs with power. He's able to run for speed, right? Evident by that run he broke off against USF. Can't remember how long that thing was, man. It was, I think at the time, right, the longest run by a freshman in program history, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was like 93 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Like that, yeah. I mean, just shot out of a cannon, right? So we know he can run with speed. I think he can run with power, right? He's a guy who's built the right way. He's built. I mean, he's rock solid, right? So gotta love what you have there with him. Pringle, right? You know, not obviously height isn't his strength. But the guy runs with speed, great vision. I think if he cleans it, you know, up the pass pro, I think he's gonna, you know, be just a regular contributor. Marty Brown, you know, just a guy who runs with power. You know, is more elusive than I think they give him credit for. Great pass blocker. You know, you don't miss a beat when he's in the game. Chris Wheatley Humphrey, man, is a speed guy, right? The guy isn't big. They call him Hellcat for a reason, right? I think he earned that nickname. He's a guy who runs with you know, with a lot of speed. You know, it's going to be hard for him to, you know, to really break in my opinion, you know, into this rotation and get any significant carries, but we'll see. And then Javion Mallory, you know, a guy who's not a burner, you know, but again, man, a guy who's got great vision, runs with power, great ball security. You know, a guy who they rode at West Boca, you know, all the way to I think it was the state finals, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah, and the guy is, yeah, I think the guy's going to be, you know, a great addition to this room, man, when he gets his chance. So, again, man, everybody in this room brings, you know, different talents and different attributes. They all complement each other well. Again, the room is layered the right way. And God, man, like I know it's not like a broken record, man. I'm just really, really excited to see, you know, how they roll those guys out this year, and who does what, right? There's going to be status quo from last year, or we get a little bit more of some other guys kind of sprinkled in. I think in the early season, you're going to see a lot of guys get run. There's going to be a lot of dudes in that room that are gonna tilt the rock. So we'll see.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot of run early on, and as the season progresses, the carries are getting much more limited to 2 guys. I think it's going to maybe 3 to get that change of pace in, right, as well. So we'll see how that goes. Juan Manuel says that Sean didn't want Simpson. Management made him get him. I don't know if that's true or not. What is Q's show address? I got you, buddy. I'm gonna put his show tag down at the bottom after the show, so you guys could subscribe to his channel as well. And I will be on tomorrow, right? We'll be talking about the evolution more Cristobal, and I'll let him promote the rest of the topics. All right, and let's see. Let's go with this is Mario's best team he's put together so far. Let's hope the linebackers hold up. Yeah, man. Listen, we started 3 linebackers. Mark Richt's first year that were true freshmen. They turned out to be pretty. They turned out to be pretty good. And from the optics, these guys are more talented. Again, it's just about getting experience from Jordan Campbell, Kellen Wiley, Cam Pruitt, Ezekiel Marcelin, right, as well. Carson Bush is another guy as well that I heard has been getting some run. Right here is, let's see. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. You want to answer that one?
Yeah, real quick with the linebacker room, man. You know, that's one of the rooms. Again, man, with so little to complain about with this roster, that is that room where there's the biggest separation between like your starters and your backups, right? Because really the backups in that linebacker room have mostly done nothing, if we're being 100% honest. Now, I also think that there is talent in that room, right? I think when you're looking at, you know, what they have in your freshmen, right, your sophomores, I think I'm really hoping that Kellen Wiley takes that next step, because there's nobody in that room that has the total package that Kellen Wiley has, right? When you look at size, speed, ability to rush the passer, right? Like, he, to me, is the most complete linebacker in the room. It's just a matter of that guy putting it together and showing that he deserves to be on the field, right? Because, listen, Mo Toure is old and has been hurt, right? We know that about him, right? When he plays, is he good? Yes. But we also know that, again, little on the injury prone side. Same thing with Chase Smith. We know that for a fact with him, right? So hopefully we're not dealing with injuries, you know, to that room. But that is the one room on the entire roster that an injury would kind of worry me, right? That Toure, Mo or Chase Smith gets hurt. It'd be really interesting to see how that shakes out, because, again, man, none of those guys have really, and now they're talking about supposedly Bobby Pruitt is looking like he's taken, you know, some steps in the offseason. So we'll see. I think he's a guy that, you know, you have to be excited about in terms of the ability and everything. Kellen Wiley, same thing. And then we'll see with the young guys. Carson Bush looks like a beast in terms of physically. You know, you got Kamal Bonner, who came over, you know, from Louisville, who they expected some big things from and everything. So we'll see, man. I think there's some bodies there. It would just be it'd be comforting to see one or two of those guys really, take advantage of some snaps when they're given to them and provide some depth there. Because again, that is the one room that an injury would concern me. No other room on the roster I could say that about. Linebacker, that would be the case.
Yeah, listen, I think losing Bobo is going to feel, if there is an injury, it's going to feel a lot more huge. You're going to feel the effect a little bit more than people would think. He had about half the tackles that Mo Toure had last season. I think Mo had 96 and Bobo had 45. So if there was to be an injury, that's a guy that could take over that could take over being the catalyst of your defense as far as like understanding the play. He also would put guys in position as well. Very experienced, very smart, high football IQ. So let's hope it doesn't happen because he is somebody that you would miss. Like this year, we missed Riley Williams. All right, Riley Williams was a guy that had a lot of upside his freshman year. Proved he can block. Was athletic enough to move the chains as well. And we saw, with Juan Manuel's favorite football player, Alex Bauman, what happens with that. Howard Star's not a big fan of Mario Cristobal, all right? At least not completely, all right? In general, Mario needs to have a killer instinct mentality. That's why all those games last year were close. He needs to stop acting on mantra and bully and showing on the field. I disagree with you. I think in the first half of the season, that was the case. I think when the cards were on the line that they wanted to get into the playoffs and they had to get past Notre Dame and just a head-to-head was going to be enough for the committee, I think he proved he had a killer instinct, and I think that may continue on. Hopefully, it continues on during the season as well. Hopefully, we don't need a loss or two to get him to wake up. This team is built to be destructive, so I think that he understands that and will continue on. Q, what do you think?
I don't. I'll be honest with you, Howard. I don't all the way disagree with you.
Okay.
I don't all the way disagree with you. I think in Mario's tenure, I think some of these games have been close for no apparent reason, right? And listen, does he call plays or does he? No, he doesn't, right? But you can't help but think that he influences how the game is called, right? And so that dynamic is different team to team, right? Staff to staff, but you can't help but think that Mario influences that somehow. Right, I think would be my opinion and the way I would look at it. So I kind of agree with just I feel like listen, man, the games get tight and so do the butt cheeks. They pucker a little bit, right? Yeah. So I feel like they need to go up on these teams and go up big, right? And so that way later on in the game, now we're not going like we did against Florida State. Right, it's like they should have ran away with that against Florida State. Right, like this. I don't think the score was nearly as. I don't think it indicated what kind of game that really was. But also, they shouldn't have let it get like that. Right, and so again, go up on these teams, man. Keep your foot on the gas. Right, all gas, man, all gas. So a little bit of that killer instinct to me. Again, I don't disagree with Howard. I don't disagree with him because again, we made some of these games closer than they need to be.
I agree with Howard the first half of last season, but I think after SMU and when Miami had a chance to get into the playoffs and Coach Cristobal understood that style points were needed, we did see a killer instinct.
I agree.
Yeah, we did see a killer instinct because we ended up destroying everybody else in the process afterward, and we did not let up at all. Okay, you and I left the game early because Miami was up like 40-0, which was against NC State, if you recall.
They kicked the hell out of it.
We did, yeah.
They kicked the hell out of NC State.
Yeah, they did, man.
Like, oh my God, CJ Bailey's coming home, and no, he came home and told it a beat.
Yeah, and it's funny because
it was a yawn, like it was.
Yeah. Well, you didn't know I was at the game. You called me like, "Hey, Shelton's here." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm right here too." So we started talking, and then we called each other, and we're like, "Bro, it's like 4 minutes left, bro. You want to beat the traffic?"
Yeah. And I'm gonna stay till the end,
Yeah, I know. Like, but it was destruction.
Yeah,
it was outright. So that's what I'm saying. Hopefully that mentality continues. Okay, as well. Even in the playoffs, all right. When they had to put Ohio State away, they put Ohio State away. All right, as well. With the smash mouth, and it worked. So that's all I'm saying. Okay, so Juan, he does have those tendencies. I agree with you. See, a first half season Mario, that's what he was. With Florida, like I mentioned, Florida, with Notre Dame, and then later on with Florida State. But when they told him, hey, you need style points to get into the playoffs, because his head ain't going to count, probably, they really turned on the gas. They scored a touchdown with like 30 seconds left against Pitt, so that's another reason why.
And I will say, the schedule last year was a little bit more forgiving. If you're looking at the schedule this year, Howard, and this is kind of where again, I'm with you, and I'm with both of you guys, because I'm with the thought of the killer instinct needs to be there from opening kickoff of game 1 against Stanford. They need to go to Stanford and kick the hell out of that team. I don't no mercy, no nothing. Go over there and beat their brains in, right? Because when you're looking at the schedule, right, you're not going to be able to survive not looking good each and every week, because they just don't have the games this year, you would think, right? Based on the way the schedule looks, preseason. Again, you got Clemson, right? You've got you got Notre Dame.
Wake Forest, a sleeper team.
Right. Yeah, Wake Forest. Yeah, right. You can't take them lightly, right? But by and large, man, you're looking at this schedule, and there's not a lot of area to come end of the season, I would assume. Right now, some things happen and teams surprise and the whole deal, which, yeah, that's fine. Again, Virginia Tech could be a team that maybe, was better than maybe people were projecting. Wake Forest, I don't know, man. They lost a lot. We'll see. I don't know. UNC is one of those teams that we'll see. They got Bobby Petrino calling plays now. Who knows what the hell happens there? So there's always going to be a team or two that surprises. But I think by and large, when you're looking at the schedule to start the season, they don't have like those big marquee games that are going to allow you to
make a mistake,
make up for a little hiccup or make a mistake. So you have to show out every single game. You have to go out there and dominate and show that you're the better team. Just from opening kickoff, you got to do it. So hopefully that's what happens.
All right. So Howard Stern. Okay. We basically have 3 on-field coaches that are rookies and were coached at this level. Yeah, the tight end coach has, but he coached the O-line, in which is going to have the biggest adjustment. Mario has a pretty good track record. We're talking about track records with guys that haven't coached Power 4, and they've been pretty good. All right. Starting with Matt Merritt. All right. As well. So just to give you guys an example, as well. We had one guy that recently got a coaching job. I forgot. It wasn't Will Harris. I forgot where.
Zach Etheridge ended up with the Arizona Cardinals also.
Yeah, Zach Etheridge. Who coached at Houston, ended up going to Miami, ended up with the Arizona Cardinals, right, as well. So, I mean.
His two least heralded hires. If you're looking at all the hires he's made recently, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 guys that people were like, who?
Yeah.
And now they're both in the NFL. So,
but keep this in mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry, but keep this in mind. The Joe Vitti hire, that was a blocking problem with the tight end position last season. So Joe Vitti's coming in here to fix the blocking issues with the tight end. The athleticism is already there, and you probably get a little bit of help with Kevin Beard with the receiving portion of it. But as far as Vitti goes, the blocking, he's here basically to teach those guys how to block. Right? I'm sorry, Q. Go ahead. I'm gonna make a point.
No. And just to again, and listen, I get the comment, by Howard Stern. 3 that are rookies to this level. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But again, remember, we were talking, off air. I think Mario has proven at this point now, right, that first and foremost, like, he is not afraid to pivot off a mistake in terms of coaches. He showed that really early on. Remember the Avengers that he hired out his first staff, and that did not work out. Pivoted, right? So where we're at now with this staff and in Mario's tenure, you start to get benefit of the doubt when you do things the way Mario is doing them, when you recruit the way he does. Now, when you've developed, right, we're starting to develop the way that they're supposed to, you get the same benefit of the doubt as it relates to coaching, I feel like, in my opinion, right? So if he hired them, I am of the thought that he saw something in them, right? That he fits the staff the way, that they're supposed to fit, and that they're going to do a good job, right? We go back to it. I didn't know who the hell Matt Merritt was when he got hired. I didn't know who the hell Zach Etheridge was when he got hired, right? And look at them. Now they're in the NFL, right? And so these names all start to get thrown around, man. And we know, because again, we follow it. We all do. Everybody on this chat, that's watching the whole, we know what happens. There's a coach vacancy. And everybody's on Twitter and looking, oh my God, what are the names? Oh, these are the 7 or 8 names most likely to be interested in the Miami job. And then it's somebody from, again, the assistant running backs coach from the Denver Broncos lands a running back gig. Who the hell had ever heard of Fabian Upshaw? Right?
Yeah.
But Mario knew him from FIU. Right? And so, again, I say all that to say he's at the point now in his tenure at Miami where he, for me personally, I'm not saying you have to do it or anybody has to. For me, he gets the benefit of the doubt. When he hires somebody, I go, okay, never heard of him, but I don't have to have heard of him. Right? How many safeties coaches do people know? Like anybody in the chat. Tell me how many safeties coaches you don't have to Google. How many safeties coaches could you name off the top of your head? Right? How many tight ends coaches could you name right off the top of your head? So, we can't get in this mode where he's like, oh, well, I've never heard of him. Well, you never heard of most coaches. We've never heard of most coaches, right? Mm-hmm. He identified him as somebody who would fit the staff well. And again, from connections in the league and whoever told about the job Fabian Upshaw had done or whatever it is. And listen, here he is, right? VD coach, he coached the best O-line in the country at a service academy, right? And I think O-line and tight end, again, very, I think, similar, type of coaching, right? Look at Mario was a tight ends coach at one point, right? I mean, he's an O-line coach now, or he was an O-line coach also, right? Head coach now. But again, these guys a little bit outside of the box, right? A little bit outside the box. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, right? Rookies at this level, but I'm cool with it. Let's see what happens.
All right. So, Juan Manuel, Howard Stern, what sin would you give up for Mario to break his curse? All right, Chris Collins with an actual question. Guys, what position you think is the strongest? We're strong in a lot of areas, but what is the signature strength of Miami this coming season? I would say running back, the running back position. I think that we are loaded from top to bottom at that position. Q, what do you think?
Listen,
there's a lot.
I continue to beat the same drum that I've beaten for a while. I told you about how excited I am about the wide receiver room.
Receivers.
I think that wide receiver room is absolutely filthy. They are filthy. All right. Listen, and I was on a show. We were talking about, and I told you the other day, right? We did that show with Gio. And it's something that I told him, and I'll use it afterwards. So Gio, all right. Four receivers who were number ones on their team last year. Look around to see who else boasts that in the country. Okay. You've got Cam Vaughn, who was a number one, Cooper Barquet, who was a number one, Vandrevius Jacobs, who was a number one, and Malachi Tony, who was a number one. And all four of them are on this roster currently ready to take snaps for the Miami Hurricanes. Right? You look at it, talent, depth, experience, layered, how you want to see your room layered, right? Upperclassmen, right? Young guys, body types, speed, possession guys, they've got it all. It will be, it's going to be predicated on, opponent, down, distance, matchup. But when you're looking at this room, hey, listen, man, if you don't come to work every day in this room, good luck to you. Good luck to you, bro. Because listen, to stand out, to get snaps in this room, you are going to have to do everything right. Just the same way you're going to have to do in the running back room, right? Because they are loaded. They're that loaded, bro. There's 10 guys there that are studs. From, again, given what they've produced and given where their rankings were in terms of coming out of high school. You got just super excited. But then also, who's to say that the cornerback room isn't the best room?
Yeah.
Right? That cornerback room is absolutely loaded. Right? The DNs. Right? Who's to say that's not the best room? So listen, man, you could go a lot of different ways with that answer, but I'm still going with the receivers.
Yeah. All right, Will and Q, do you think Mensah could possibly win the Heisman? That's having Cam, Ward, and Carson back the last 2 years. We'll see, man. Possibly. I don't see why not. I think that Mensah has a possibility to win the Heisman. I mean, and one of the main reasons, like Q just said himself, you have four guys at wide receiver that were the number ones in their respective teams last year, and two of those guys might even start. Okay, because I heard that wide receiver 3 is becoming a carousel right now of competition. Everyone thought it was going to be Josh Moore, but apparently that might not be the case. Okay, it could be. I think D-Money, his wild card is Dalen Upshaw to take over the third position. Dalen Upshaw, yeah. The third was, which shocked me, and it shocked Dono as well. Right. So we'll see, man. So we'll see what happens there. So yeah, it's a huge possibility. Go ahead, Q.
Yeah, man. I think listen, we know what the Heisman has become. It's the quarterback. It's a quarterback on the best team. More often than not, right? I mean, yeah, there's been a couple exceptions here recently, right? What's the receiver from Alabama who plays for the Eagles, man? Devontae Smith,
Devontae
right? I mean,
Smith. Mhm.
he won it, right, as a receiver. It doesn't happen very often, though. More often than not, right, it is a quarterback for, one of the top three teams in the country. And if you're looking at where we're projecting Miami to be, right, more, I would say, right, my money would be on they're going to be one of the top, 2 to 3 to 4 teams in the country when it's all said and done. Hopefully, the number one team in the country. And the numbers that he's going to be able to put up in this offense, which you have to figure he's going to be bordering on 40 touchdowns. That would be my guess. He's going to be bordering on 4,000 yards. That would be my guess. With those type of numbers, right, he doesn't turn the ball over, right? When you're looking at the numbers he's going to put up, the win total that you expect Miami to produce, I think there's a strong chance that he's in New York for the presentation. I would say that. And it wouldn't necessarily shock me if he won the Heisman. Do I predict it? No. Would it shock me? Absolutely not.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. One more has another fun one for you. He asked me this one, but I passed. Let's see if you answered, Q.
Oh, hell.
Will, did you ask Q's opinion on Pat Narduzzi winning their drag queen contest Saturday night at downtown Pico Club? One top diva. I'll save Q the time. We'll be getting to Pat Narduzzi tomorrow on the show with possibly. Okay.
We'll talk a little bit about him tomorrow.
Yeah. So Howard Stern. Remember this name, Vandrivius, Dre Jacobs. He's gonna be a beast. I can see no third, fourth corner being able to cover him. Yeah, I agree with you. He's one of the guys we were talking about. So I do think that Dre has a huge possibility for this football team. So I'm with you on that one.
And that is a good way to put it, man. When you're looking at this wide receiver room, when you decide that you want to go right 3 deep or you want to go 3 wide in those ranges, and you may go 4 wide. Listen, I don't know that there's many quarterback rooms built to put 4 corners on the field that can hang with those Miami receivers. So I'm right there with was it Howard that just posted that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with
Howard.
you, man. Like I don't see it happening. I don't see which DB rooms, man, in the country. When you start talking about Notre Dame, that's possibly the best, one of the best DB rooms. Bama, those kind of teams like that. Those are going to be very few and far between that are going to be able to match up with those receivers, man.
Yeah, let's keep in mind. Last year, our wide receivers dominated Notre Dame. They held a lot of our guys last season. So, and these are guys that, I'm sorry, with all due respect, they weren't very good at separation. Getting separation in general, except for Malachi Tony. These guys can. Vaughn, Jacobs, Tony, Moore. Okay, the possibilities are endless, all right, as well. Juan Manuel says excited for him. He's D-line and Kellen White to break the team sack record. That's his prediction. But Juan, I have a question for you. Is it the seasonal sack record or is it for the Canes career-wise? I think the seasonal sack record was Greg Rousseau. I think he had like 12 or 13 one year, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know if he'll ever get that far. That's a huge number.
And also, too, man, the position. Kellen Wiley's a linebacker.
Yeah.
And your linebackers typically, I don't really see them, putting up, enough sacks to really break a single season record. Hopefully, I mean that'd be outstanding, bro. If he does that, this defense is going to be unstoppable. You're not going to be able to score against this defense if Kellen Wiley's doing that, but. Again, if I were going to go with any position to put up those kind of sack numbers, but naturally I'm going D end, right? Somebody like Damon Wilson, somebody like I don't know, Marquise Lightfoot will play enough snaps really to record that many sacks. But Damon Wilson would be probably the person who I would think of that would have a chance, and even then I don't know that happens. So.
Yeah, I mean, if he gets on the field on a regular basis, 5 sacks could be doable, especially if they use him in blitzes. In general, but I think they're going to rely a lot more on the ends for sacks. I wouldn't be surprised if Marquise Lightfoot has a really good year. Don't sleep on that kid. A lot of people are sleeping on him because they remember the skinny kid his freshman year, but he's bulked up in size, and I still remember him planning Bo Jackson in the playoffs. So,
and I think he will. I'm right there with you. More than anything, I'm really curious to see, what his snaps look like, right? I mean, is he going to be is he going to be a 3-down guy, right? Is he going to be a guy who they trust, to be in there, on everything, not just, not just passes, right? Not just passing plays, right? So the D end, that, again, that's another room, and that's loaded, right? So we'll see how those snaps break down, but it's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have, man. They are deep and talented at end. So we'll see. We'll see how the snaps break down.
All right. Juan Manuel Ventura, 50% of the tight end problem, 87% Bauman is gone. Howard Stern told a joke. I'm pretty shocked. Howard told a joke. Yes, Juan Bauman total waste. Call him Juan Bauman.
Absolutely, bro.
Yeah, Howard Stern. I think Juan is rubbing off on Howard a little bit. Usually in other chats, I feel like they argue quite a bit, in general. So Howard Stern responds. Howard Stern, how dare you speak bad of Bauman as a Canes player? Did you see his block on the Fletcher run versus Indiana? It was one of the time I was proud. 87 turd show. Rest of the time, yeah, bro, that is true. That is true.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I disagree there.
no, I can't at all. I can't at all. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we can go for another 5 minutes if you'd like. If you guys have any more questions or comments, it's been a fun chat. It's been very enlightening as far as the conversation goes. You guys want to chime in a little bit about whatever you want to ask us, whatever you want to talk about. We're still talking Miami Hurricanes football. We went primarily over the running backs today. We went from top to bottom over the roster and what we think are the intangibles and the strengths of all these players. We also went a little bit over the team in general. So if you guys want to add a little bit more to the comment section, would love to. If not, I'll have Q plug his show. And then we continue this conversation tomorrow. I see new comment. All right, let's see. Hold on, I'm having trouble seeing it. There we go. Hold on. It's from Chris Gons. I'm stuck. Thank you, StreamYard. Let's see. They come out. There we go. Fun prediction. Will and Q, if Miami takes the Natty in Las Vegas, which team do you think Miami faces? I got Miami versus Texas. Listen, man, I'm not very good at these kind of predictions. I still don't trust Arch Manning, to be frank with you. He hasn't shown it on the field yet. So we'll see. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't see a rematch between Miami and Indiana. So I really don't know. I can't pick it.
Let's go with, man, let's have fun with it, man. How about Miami, Oregon?
Okay. We'll do Miami, Oregon. All right, since you picked Oregon, I'll pick, I hate to do this. I'll pick a Miami, Ohio State rematch.
Oh.
Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, Oregon, man, to me, Dante Moore,
Yeah.
Sick receivers, loaded on the O-line, loaded on the D-line. One of the best corners in the country, and this kid, Finney, that kid's going to be like a top 6-7 pick in the draft when he comes out. Kid's an absolute stud. Just built the right way. Dan Lanning has whiffed a little bit here in the playoffs. They bowed out in an embarrassing fashion here the last 2 years. I think he learns from it. I think they grow from there. They have a top 5 pick, at quarterback, loaded around him, dynamic running back duo. Miami, Oregon in the title game. Why not?
Yeah, that's a pick. I pick Ohio State because they still have Jeremiah Smith, all right, as well. So Jeremiah Smith, Julian Saint is coming back for another year. Yeah. Okay, and they still have a pretty good running back core and have a pretty good offensive line, all right, as well. So I think Ohio State would want another rematch with the Canes. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I'll pick OSU, and I still got Miami beating OSU again, all right, for this upcoming season. And I think we have another comment. Let's see. Show us if I can show it. It doesn't let me. There we go. All right, Juan Manuel, the D-line breaks single season records. Kenan Wiley will contribute. Let's hope so, man. Let's hope so. Okay, rooting for the kid. All right, definitely rooting for the kid. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the end of this broadcast. Had a lot of fun with my boy Q talking football, talking Canes football as well. Q, can you let the audience know where they can find you and what you got going on next?
Tomorrow. What time are we going on? What time are you free?
I can do. My wife works tomorrow, so let's go for 9 again.
All right, let's go. 9:00 tomorrow. I Hate Football podcast. My boy will be on with me, man. We will discuss mostly the evolution of Mario Cristobal, man. How he's gotten to where he's at. We'll discuss a little bit of the nonsense being spoken about Miami here during media days. You got some clowns out there with some really interesting takes. That's how we know. That's how we know football's on the horizon, man. We can smell it. It's so close. People got these clown takes and everything like that. So we'll go over a little bit of that. Talk about old CMC. Coach Mario Cristobal. how he's gotten to where he's at now. Should be a good show, man. Tune in tomorrow, 9:00. I Hate Football podcast on YouTube. Tune in, comments, join the discussion. Can't wait to see you there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe to the I Hate Football podcast. And if you like what you heard today, if you like this episode, if you like my conversation with the Q, we have a lot of them, by the way. Please like, share, and subscribe to 305 Sports now as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be going on vacation pretty soon, so I will not be having a show for the rest of the week. When I get back, I will have new shows for you. And I'm going to start making Sunday a regular night for going live as well. And sometime during the week as well, where I can have a conversation. Plus, I'll be having some surprises and announcements for you guys as the football season approaches. Once again, guys, please like and subscribe, especially subscribe to the I Hate Football podcast and my show, of course, 305 Sports Now. Have a good one, guys. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe. God bless. About to you guys. Go Canes. Bye, everybody.
Well, chill out, bro. Chill out, bro. Go to sleep.
Nah, man, he's our boy, bro. Mama, you're free to comment on him as much as you want. Have a good night.
Chris Gahn, take it easy, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you. By the way, before I go, thanks to everybody that participated. Chris Gahns, Juan Manoper. Appreciate you, Howard Stern as well. Let me see if I can find the gentleman. Hold on. I had one more. I'm missing one more guy. I try to thank all of you because I'm really appreciative. Let's see, where'd he go? Gary Gonzalez. All right, very good. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you guys. God bless you guys. Have a good evening.